Welcome
to the Homebodies with brendanAbradley.
Oh man, it is one of those days. Hello, and welcome. This is called accountability. I said I would do this. I said I would start this up again, and I don't know where today went, but oh man, I am not ready to do a show, and I got to blitz through it because I actually have a meeting lined up at 5:30, and I've literally not been stopping all day. This is insane. This is why we don't set goals for ourselves. It's so weird to not be going anywhere or really doing anything, and yet somehow you can fill an entire day. It's amazing. Welcome to your daily escape from your news feed to join your fellow homebodies and talk about all the stories no one is talking about. The global health crisis is extremely important, with over 105 million cases and 2.27 million deaths worldwide. And I advise you to use the amazing online resources to keep you and your community safe and informed. But here in the Homebodies, we're going to put all that to the side for the moment, for a few hot seconds, and talk about the one thing that nobody is talking about with your fellow homebodies on a call-in show. You can join the conversation in our Discord channel and even the voice channel within that Discord at homebodies.live. That's homebodies.live. I'm streaming out to all the places today. I see 4 of you have already joined. 6 of you have already joined. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Oh, what's it like to see a man sink to the bottom of himself? I had to do 2 self-tape auditions today, which is I'm very grateful for. I can't believe we're still doing last-minute auditions. You would think everything has a lot of notice now, but no, everything has to be last minute. So I had to take everything apart, and of course, anyone who's been with the show for a while knows that when I take everything apart and you put it back together again, nothing works. It's amazing. I couldn't even get the camera to turn on. It's so magical. But thank you for being here, and thanks for slogging through it. Just a little escape to kind of escape the zaniness, escape at least my own kind of cooped up isolation. Coming up in the show today, we've got some no-vid news. That's viral news stories, not about a virus. And we've got our virtual video village, and we had a different future stage. I was actually going to hang out on the show, linger a little bit today, chat with folks, and actually share my desktop and take you through some homework that I have to do for an experiment that I'm doing in my future stages work, virtual storytelling come alive. I actually, in 15 minutes, have to meet with another group that is doing a completely separate future stages level project that I was going to share with y'all and get feedback on and talk through ideas about. But there ain't time for that either. However, literally right before we started the stream, I got an email from Allison over at the Young Shakespeareans. It's an incredible group that I chatted with last year when I was in the middle of like 20 projects. I could not work with them at the time. I said maybe we would keep in touch. They bring Shakespeare performance, Shakespeare opportunities, Shakespeare education to communities that don't have access to those performance opportunities, don't maybe have an arts program or a drama program in their school, and so they kind of supplement that, and they give them their first performance experience and opportunity, which I'm so grateful to, because that's how I got started, was a local community that gave performance opportunities to, people just getting their feet wet, if you will, just getting bit with the theta bug. And she told me about Zoom OSC 4.0, which has just been announced, a sneak peek of some of the improvements that are coming out from Liminal. And this is very interesting because it seems like Zoom is trying to capture a lot of the Band-Aids that I've been talking about for the last going on a year now, and it's kind of cool to kind of see how they're going to get up under the hood and be able to make a more robust platform. Maybe, again, I haven't been able to play with it or test it. Call me. But, for all the shade that I've slung at kind of Zoom as a video chat platform that does that very, very, very well, that then became this kind of accidental stage for so many virtual productions, let's put on some music. That's what's missing. I'm trying to vamp and sprint through it because I'm like, there's nothing happening. There's silence. Can't stand the silence. Throwing on a little music. Our future stage is settling in, but this is Zoom OSC 4.0 that is supposed to come out soon. I've signed up to be notified when they drop it so that maybe I can play with it and share new features. But it looks like a new interface, which earlier I was talking about how Mozilla Hubs actually debuted a new interface that I was going to share on the chat today. But looks like they're going with a new interface. And really, when you kind of get down in here, control mic level of participants, configure audio and video devices, and more. New remote control feature. You can now change audio and video devices for participants running Zoom OSC Pro. Multi-spot, multi-pin. Control over kind of spotlighting and pinning multiple things. My goodness. For those that have not done this and have not presented yet, if you want to share multiple things right now, you can do it in Zoom, but you require a second monitor. So you have to quickly run out. I've literally run a 25-foot HDMI cable to my television on the other side of the room just to have something on that screen that I can bring into Zoom. Look, we're all making the best of what we got, but it's so cool for them to respond to this in real time and kind of come up with new solutions and new robust tools. So looking forward to that drop, and that was a fun little future stages announcement that just happened. So it's kind of cool to be on the cutting edge of that. So thank you so much to Allison for letting me know about that so I could share it with the community. If you go to liminellet.com/Zoom OSC -4-0, at the very bottom, you can sign up for notifications, or you hit this notify me button to sign up for announcements or to be able to get it when it comes out. I think that's going to be a very exciting update. I know nothing about it, but I think that looks and sounds very cool. Sprinting right along, I want to get into our
No Vid News. Viral stories, not about a virus.
Golden Mummies, Golden Globe nominations. And can you get your actual house verified? Here on Novid News, viral news stories not about a virus. These are just some really quick hits today, pulling from the internet and our Discord channel. Feel free to join the conversation and our community at homebodies.live. Archaeologists have unearthed a 2,000-year-old mummy with golden tongue placed inside its mouth in northern Egypt. The Antiquities Ministry says, shout out to Homebody Halsey, who just joined the chat, hello, who puts this in the Novid News section of the Discord. An Egyptian Dominican team working at Alexandria's temple discovered 16 burials in rock-cut tombs popular in the Greek and Roman eras. Inside were poorly preserved mummies, and it is thought that the dead were given these gold foil amulets shaped like tongues so that they could speak before the court of the god Osiris in the afterlife. And I wanted to know, are you into mummies? I am a huge nerd, especially about kind of like, there's that natural history museum exhibit that has the mummy's tomb. I've never been to Egypt. I've always wanted to go. I love not just the culture, but the lore and the history. I think it's so incredible. And so this is very exciting to have yet new discoveries. Actually just watched on Netflix The Dig the other night, 2 nights ago. What is time? And it was all about unearthing ruins that people had kind of given up on and didn't think would even be that successful or exciting. And it was a lovely little film. It was somewhat over-dramatized in some ways. Like, you can always feel the studio notes of them being like, no, you've got to really, really sell it. And I'm like, I knew what I was getting into. Like, it's a movie about an archaeologist dig. Like, it's cool. Like, I can go through that. But it's a lovely film. I highly recommend. And Halsey says, I love mummies, and I'd love to go to Egypt too. Maybe a Homebodies Egypt trip when we're all allowed to travel again. Checking in on my own personal timeline, getting, towards my horizon of being able to travel. This is my 5th day of bringing back the show, which ran for 8 consecutive weeks last year. Hello, Dwayne in the chat, an old homebody from last year. Just as I'm talking about the personal timeline, today is my 329th day of full quarantine and 343 days since my life completely derailed when I myself got sick and went indoors, and then everybody else started going indoors. And then this is where we've been ever since. Sarah Jessica Parker and Taraji P. Henson kicked off the awards season by virtually announcing the 2021 Golden Globe Award nominations across 12 categories on Wednesday. Mank and The Crown snagged a leading 6 nominations each, signaling a win for Netflix, while Amazon Studios and Hulu netted 19 combined nominations across film and television. Regina King, Emerald Fennell, and Chloe Zhao were nominated for Best Director, making the first time more than one woman has been nominated in the category, which is fantastic. I was actually going to try to take the homebodies today to go through the entire list, talk about what people had seen, what they hadn't. If you want to shout out quickly in the chat something that's up for a nomination that you highly recommend, please do. But I'm going to cruise through today because I'm trying to hit this completely non-mandatory and self-made deadline because I've signed myself up for way too many things, but I wanted to be accountable to you today and do the homebodies, even if it was for a quick little sprint. With that, let's get back into it.
COVID-19, the top viral stories not about a virus.
Last Friday, a viral Twitter thread announced the rollout of Blue Check Homes, a new company installing verified badge crest on the houses of Bay Area residents for them to identify themselves as public figures in real life. The artist Danielle Baskin did not expect almost 500 applications for her satirical web service. In hours, the thread amassed thousands of retweets and likes. The reactions from the public were wide-ranging. Some were understandably annoyed by the concept of being verified IRL, and others caught on to the joke rather quickly about putting a blue check mark on people's actual homes. I think it's a great troll. I think it's very fun. But I also think in some ways it's a great commentary on society. We are so obsessed with kind of this verified status of our kind of social presence and making it known and aware all the time. And I'd love to know, what do you think of the verified system on social media? I remember early on, it felt so important to be verified on Twitter. That was, I think, the first social media that I remember there being kind of the blue check or the verified thing. And it felt like, oh gosh, like that's the way that you're going to grow this channel. But that's been completely disproven on so many platforms. Where newcomers, new voices show up, they make great content, they put it out there, they find an audience, and they don't need to be like verified through some weird system. So whatever works, I say, whatever works. I'm going to cruise now into the real thing that I've been trying to keep myself doing. Traditionally, on a film set, the crew can see what's happening on a cluster of screens and make changes and collaborate. This is called the video village, and as a scrappy storyteller, I've never had the budget to do this on my films, and I wanted to see if now that we're working from home, I could integrate you all in the filmmaking process. So we're going to share a single take from filming each episode of the Homebodies to collaborate with the virtual community. As Hollywood and Broadway remain shut down, how do we tell stories in isolation? So to explore this, Ashley Clements and I are creating a film in chronological order. Each day we improvise the next scene in the story, set up cameras, rehearse, film each other. We do not know where the story is going and invite you to join us for the adventure, giving us feedback, input, ideas, insights, be the virtual crew and cast. Really what we're trying to rely on is this strange new world where we don't want to make it about like a Zoom show, but we want to live into the reality of people have phone calls, people have FaceTime, people are interacting with people remotely. And so those organic moments, we are going to basically shoot a blank screen, and you can then shoot your side of it using the duet feature on TikTok. And I'm going to try to put out a couple each week if I can. I'm going to try. That's going to use that as my accountability to get the editing done on the show. And so today, I've been backing up to the very beginning. I started doing this. I got about 3 or 4 episodes in before my life took over last summer. So let's take a look at. That's not it. What do we think? Is it the button called Video Village? It's probably the button called Video Village. So this is me riffing back to back to back on a variety of improvisations as characters. My character Cam is a voiceover artist working out of his closet. Sound familiar? And what we basically wanted to do was show early on that he is just kind of like throwing himself at any possible job to hustle a quick buck. This is how he kind of makes money at home, while Ellie, or Elle, his partner, has a more real job, a more traditional, structured job, to kind of set the story of their two different personalities and the way in which they look at home, so that later in their story, when they both become homebodies, we kind of have their personalities at the get-go. So this is just a quick little ramble of me going through a variety of made-up nonsense. So I'm going to see if I can put up the audio here.
Hitch up your horse and put up your boots.
Maybe not. Wah, wah. We can look at the show.
They're huge
because
eyes.
That's exciting.
This
This is inside of the closet, and actually we overthrew the camera several times.
horrible.
It's probably the reason I'm still having
Hey, tough
issues.
guy.
We had to put ice
Put
packs
down
around the
the
camera because it would
muffin.
overheat
When my feelings
after
get
about
really
5 to 8
big,
minutes of
I
being
like to
inside
sing
there with
them.
the lights and with all the foam.
Side
and just
effects
not
may
being
include
able
constipation,
to breathe. There was no airflow.
diarrhea, dizziness,
And so
drowsiness,
we
dry
shot
mouth,
this very
headache, insomnia,
disparately, just in small little chunks. And then you can see
incontinence,
zoomed back
infection,
to kind of
inflammation,
see him
loss of
inside of the
function.
closet.
Mom,
We tried to shoot
Jessica's
most of the
wearing the
show
outfit that
on
makes me
2
feel
cameras
funny.
at the same
Infertility,
time.
menopause,
So
an
most
erection that
scenes.
lasts more than
Oh,
4 hours.
Dwayne can hear it. I
Today
can't
we're
hear
going to
it.
learn about
So
common
great. I'll stop
infringement.
talking over me.
Nausea and vomiting.
This is me
dry
doing a
and
bunch of
sore
silly,
skin,
dumb voices.
Brittle and flaky nails. Cancer. Cancer. And cancer.
I'm too sad for pants. I'm too sad for pants. I'm too sad for pants.
Gary, tell my children that they were loved, except Samuel. Don't tell Samuel.
Oh, goodness! I'm just sweating everywhere. So much moisture just pouring from my body. Every single pore. It's like a fountain. Just a fountain of dreams.
Thank you for calling. Press 1 for English. Press 2 for... Press 5 if you smell toast.
Well, hello, boys and girls. It's time for Mr. Hippotunus.
No, it's a hippo. It's like a play on words. It's a hippotunus.
It's a manatee.
That's a manatee?
I'm going to leave it there. Dwayne's telling me it was actually louder than me. But that's just a quick little snippet and a little glimpse at what we've been working on. That's me just making up a bunch of nonsense and then smash cutting it together to kind of tell the story that he is a voiceover actor working from home, and he's got an audio engineer on the computer coaching him through different stuff, which is somebody that could be inserted into our story if you want to check it out on TikTok and put yourself inside the show. Looking at the clock, it is 5:30, which means I've got to jet to this meeting because that's how I eat. But thank you so much for letting me blitz through today's Homebodies, for joining me, for engaging in the chat, even as I kind of rattled through a bunch of stories. I'm hoping to be back tomorrow with a lot more breath and time and space, especially because I want to actually hang out with y'all in the virtual space and move through something. Thanks, Michael. You like the mouth sounds. Making mouth noises as always. And this is going to go somewhere bad. All right, we're going to wrap up the show. Hope we see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for escaping your news feed with me and getting away from the one story that everybody is talking about. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your evening. Get off social media, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.